OMG BBG! What's up BBGs? We're back with another super hype Beyblade Burst GT unboxing. This time it's the GT customized set. I know that you guys have been waiting a very long time for this release. I know we have, because it comes with two super hype bays. We're talking about Regalia Genesis that has an electric driver, kind of a bit of a throwback to like that whole engine gear style type of performance. So that's gonna be really cool to look at. And then we have, it seems like the main bad guy, Prime Apocalypse. And then we have two nobodies that you guys don't need to worry about. Two fillers, basically.
But dude, the electric driver actually uses batteries. This is like the first.
Exactly. And like, it's cool because you don't have to wind it up like the old school days with engine gear. Now you can just change the battery and it'll be good to go again.
And yeah, you are able to use these in official tournaments too. So they're not
official parts.
Yeah.
This is gonna be pretty sweet, guys. Let's take a look at the back of the box really quickly. So starting off with Regalia Genesis, of course we have the Regalia Genesis layer and the hybrid driver. So it actually only comes with two parts, guys. You're not going to be able to customize it with some different layer weights and the gacha chips and stuff. It does feature a brand new Mugen lock system, so this is going to be interesting to kind of play around with.
Dude, the hybrid driver though, this is the first electric driver in the series and I'm sure there are more coming.
Yeah, Imperial Dragon coming out next month is supposed to have an electric driver as well, so we're going to see Drum with a souped up Ace Dragon. Alright, moving over to our next character. This is Arthur Percival. I know that he just got announced, or not announced, but he was just featured in the latest episodes of Beyblade Burst GT, so make sure you check out those episodes because it's pretty crazy. He seems super powerful. We have Prime Apocalypse, which is also another layer where you're not going to be able to customize the gacha chip and the weights with. Comes with the good old Zero disc, dagger frame, and brand new part, Ultimate Reboot Dash. Also another super exciting part, right? And then moving over to the two boosters that we have, guys. Not super crazy, but got some nice recolors. Cosmo Dragon, Vanguard, Revolve. Dude, Revolve is such an old part. Last but not least, we have Erase Fafnir 10 with Sting and a Trick Driver. I'm more hyped for that electric driver than anything else. We're gonna open this up. It is supposed to come with a tool as well that we can use to customize our electric driver with. So let's get to it. Alright guys, here are all the parts laid out for you. Let's go over the two booster bays first to kind of get it out of the way because of course we want to focus on the two stars of it. But yeah, let's go over it. So this is the Erase Fafnir 10. Okay, so this is the first time we're seeing the Erase base outside of the Venom Diabolos release. So this is interesting, it's a recolor.
This is also the only left spinning layer in the set.
Yep, and then moving over to a classic part here from Ace Dragon, we got Sting. So a really good disc to use because it's super heavy. And then going over to a pretty controversial driver, we have the Trick Driver. It can get pretty aggressive in the stadium, but at the same time though, it's super unpredictable because when it does change trajectory, like you can fly out of the stadium, not exactly the best one to use.
If you're using this driver, the only person you're tricking is yourself.
Damn, haters gonna hate. Moving over to the next booster bay we have Cosmo Dragon Uretsu.
This blue Cosmo actually looks better than the red one.
I agree though.
It's more fitting for the name Cosmo.
Yeah, it looks nicer, yeah. And then moving over, we got that Vanguard disc. So this one's a pretty cool one to get to. It has a very interesting shape. It's kind of like aimed downwards. So on those lower combos, you might scrape the stadium a little bit. And then one of the most surprising parts in here that's not cool, we have the Revolve Driver. I mean, when it first came out, it was pretty cool because it's free spinning, but at the same time, this is such an old part, guys. Before we go ahead and take a look at Prime Apocalypse and Regalia Genesis, let's put on all the stickers for these bays. Alrighty guys, stickers on. Let's dive right in and take a look at Prime Apocalypse. So right off the bat, for the energy layer, guys, it kind of reminds me of Excalibur. And I've been talking about that, and I've been like saying it ever since we saw like leaks of this, but it definitely has that Excalibur vibe, like with kind of the hilt of a sword. It's kind of more like a dragon head, but then a huge blade down the middle. And then the tip even flares out a little bit during battle too. So I don't know, guys, are we not going to have an Excalibur Bay anymore because this one kind of looks like it. What do you guys think? The weight is integrated into the layer. You guys can see on the sides over here, this is where the metal is. You cannot remove it, okay? So you can't really customize this layer at all, pretty much. You have to use just this. Moving over, let's talk about the disc and the frame. We get 0, which is obviously always welcomed, right? It is pretty heavy. It's still used in a lot of popular combos. And we do get the dagger frame as well. This was pretty exclusive because you had to buy a set in order to get the dagger frame to complete your Buster Excalibur back in the day. So now we get another one. Attack oriented combo right here. And a brand new part we get is Ultimate Reboot Dash. So they gave it a dark theme. The whole thing is black except for the tip in the center is now red. And of course it matches the red spring lock here as well. So this is definitely going to fit a lot tighter. But yeah, Ultimate Reboot was pretty awesome because it replaced the original Reboot, which was a bit of a disappointment when it was first released. So Ultimate Reboot Dash, definitely a welcomed addition to our collection. Now let's put this Bay together and we'll show you guys how it works. So this Bay does come with the new Mugen lock system. It's going to work a little bit differently than our traditional burst bays. So let's show you guys how to work it. So you're going to take your disc, you want to insert it like so, and then when you take your driver, you basically lock it in like you normally would, and you'll listen for like one click basically. Okay, one click, and then your bay is together. Now, the infinite part, the Mugen part, what is that? Look guys, I'm going to twist the bottom. It's endless.
It never bursts.
It never bursts, ever. Left or right. Look, you can twist it left or right. It will never burst. But you guys will probably notice that the center crest right there, you will see red. And sometimes you won't see the red. It's hidden. This Bay, Prime Apocalypse, is only vulnerable when you see the red. So let's change it right there. You can see the red showing. When an opposing Bay attacks Prime Apocalypse and hits the sword and pushes that in, at that point, if it hits hard enough and it twists, and the whole Bay will come apart. That's the only time when it will actually burst.
Dude, it's pretty crazy. Look at the back of the layer again. It almost looks like Hasbro slopes.
Yeah, because it doesn't feel like, you know, your traditional teeth, right? You won't get those satisfying clicks every single time you lock in the Bay. You'll get one singular click to basically tell you that, hey, your Bay is together. But then other than that, that's it really. Like it'll spin forever.
Dude, that's pretty crazy. I wonder how it's gonna work in the stadium. Can't wait to battle this guy with other bays.
Yeah, I wonder if this is gonna burst a lot or is it not gonna burst a lot. Like that's gonna be crazy. Okay, moving over to, I would say, probably the even more exciting part. This is Regalia Genesis. So yeah, bit of a difference compared to Prime Apocalypse. You can see from the main design it has two dragon heads facing each other. Doesn't have that huge sword-like shape down the middle. It does also have the layer weight integrated as well on the sides. So that's where you're gonna get the extra weight in the metal. And opposite of Prime Apocalypse, this is in a white color. So yeah, Prime Apocalypse kind of has that darker theme. Two-part Bay. The base of this driver, of Hybrid Driver, looks pretty familiar, right? It looks like the really large base that you would see in the Mugen Bay Stadium sets and all that stuff.
It also looks like an RC Bay driver.
Yeah, a little bit at the bottom, right? It is electric, so that makes sense. Same thing. Basically, put it in. It's gonna lock. And then it spins forever.
So it has the same Mugen Infinite lock system.
Yep.
Gimmick.
You can only burst it when it is red, and you guys can see that from the front right there. So the only difference between the Mugen locks between Regalia Genesis and Prime Apocalypse is that there's actually two contact points on this, one on each side. So you don't necessarily always have to aim for just the one side to burst it. When it's red, you can actually aim for the two sides, so right there and there. So I guess you could say that your chances of bursting are doubled. But at the exact same time though, this is supposed to be like the ultimate defense type, supposed to be able to spin for a very long time, so I guess you kind of have to even it out. Let's activate our Hybrid Driver.
For the first time?
Yeah, so there's a switch that's on the bottom there. Just gonna push it over. Do you guys hear that? That motor going? Man, got that huge RC Bay feel from Hasbro. Look at the glowing lights and everything like that.
And the squealing noises?
Yeah.
The motor?
So you can actually change the spin on this driver as well. There is a switch at the top right there. It's hard to see, but it says left and right, and you guys can switch it in between, basically just like flick it back and forth.
Once you turn it on, you can launch it, and depending on the speed of your launch, then it will react differently.
Let's weigh these two bays. Prime Apocalypse, how much does this combo weigh?
60.99.
Not bad. All right. Hitting the 60s. Okay, that's pretty good.
That's really
pretty good. Pretty good. Regalia Genesis. I expected it to be heavier.
65.58 grams.
Ew, heavy. It's all because of that huge driver.
Okay, let's do a test spin with the new Regalia Genesis and the hybrid driver.
Let's go. 3, 2, 1, go. Shoot.
Okay, that was pretty strong.
Oh. Ooh. Wow. Okay. Just sped up out of nowhere. Oh my gosh, it's going forever, guys.
Dude, it's just accelerated.
Dude, and it's still riding the edge too, and it's not slowing down. Oh, dude, the stamina's insane.
It is a defense type electric driver, so what would it mean if it's an attack type?
Yeah,
hybrid driver?
That would be interesting. Oh, okay, now it's slowing down. Wow, okay, and then just chills out and goes back to normal. Wow. That's very interesting, guys. This is changing the game.
Test spin with Prime Apocalypse.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
It's funny because they gave this Ultimate Reboot Dash, which also speeds up, but it's not done by using batteries. It's not electric. But it also has a little speed up thing too. Alright. So, looks pretty cool in the stadium, but yeah, it doesn't spin as long, obviously. It doesn't have that stamina like Genesis.
Now let's do a couple of battles with the new bays we got. I'll be using Erase Fafnir.
Alright, and then I'll use Prime Apocalypse. 3, 2, 1. Oh, nice. 3, 2, 1.
I like Prime Apocalypse, like a little bit more oval shape is nice.
Really like how they have that sword design.
Let's give it a go with Cosmo Dragon. 3, 2, 1.
Whoa. Ultimate Reboot.
Almost activated as good as the hybrid driver.
Yeah. Not electric though. Oh yeah. So, like definitely the weakness for Prime Apocalypse is going to be those defense and stamina types that chill in the middle. All right, let's test out that Regalia Genesis now in right spin.
3, 2, 1. Wasn't even your final form yet.
Didn't need to activate. 3, 2, 1. Whoa. Oh, just activated. Outlast for sure.
That time it activated pretty late.
Yeah. It's because in a battle, it's like not the same conditions. I mean, if you launch it by itself, then it's like, yeah, okay, I'll spin forever.
3, 2, 1.
There we go. Here we go. Now the ultimate test. Will Cosmo Dragon last longer? Or will it be Genesis? One is going around the edge and the other one's chilling in the center. This
Genesis
is so funny.
is just showing off at this point.
Pretty much, right? It's like, I don't need to defend in the center. It's like, I'll just outlast you on the outside.
She lasts pretty long.
That seriously does.
It's dying, it's
Oh,
dying.
it's straining back out. Once the driver, like the hybrid driver, basically like goes back to its other form, like basically straightens back up, then its stamina is still pretty decent towards the end. Alrighty folks, that is our unboxing on Prime Apocalypse and our Regalia Genesis. Of course, and plus the other two bays, you know, since it is a GT customized set, but really we're here for these two. So yeah, pretty awesome bays. I mean, one of them is electric, the other one's not, right? So one is able to spin a lot faster, but the designs are like pretty much like opposite of each other. We got black, white, it's like dark and light.
They both activate, but in different ways.
Exactly, activates using electricity, the battery, and this one activates via the spring and the old mechanisms, right? One thing that you guys do need to note is that putting these on a launcher was actually a little bit tricky because you always have to line up the discs in the exact same way as you would with a normal Bey so that you can actually use the launchers. So you have to twist it and make the discs look exactly like they would normally before it'll fit. Alright guys, which one do you guys like more? Do you like the attack type Prime Apocalypse or do you like the defense type Regalia Genesis? Let us know. Alright, and as always,
Geeks out!